Continuing with the repairs on this picture of the baby, um, you can do a similar thing here with the neck. You can use the clone stamp tool as well, and so we'll just explore different ways of making these repairs. I've got the clone stamp tool, shortcut S on the clone stamp tool, by the way. Pick an area that's close by and just add some repair that way. Then go to the opposite side of it, Option click, and bring some repair in this way. If you'll kind of work from both sides and maybe from the top as well, you can get a nice looking repair here. Under the chin, wherever I've got a line like that, I think it's helpful to just Option click right on that line. Option click, and then move it over. And see how you can match the line there. Short clicks here so that you can blend it in. I'm just kind of scrubbing. Okay. Up here, it should stay in pretty good alignment for the colors, but do short clicks. The reason I need really short clicks is because if you look, there's very little distance between the little X or the plus and the repair circle, and so you have to use it in short bits. If you go too far, you get this, where I'm just repeating the old bad repair, okay, or the bad mistake. Okay, so keep it short by option clicking on that line. You can bring that line on up. It should still be in pretty good alignment for this, so long as I remember to do short repairs. You can do the same thing even down here. Option click on the line, and then click, and then just keep it very short, because your distance between you and between the repair and the place where option, where you're cloning from, is so narrow. You can bring it on up, and it works pretty well. Okay, working both sides of the repair, come over, or both sides of the damage, click here on this line. Now this is nice because it's a long straight line. You can come back a little bit. Option click right there, and you can bring this on down. Just be careful where your first click is really crucial. Click here, and then click again, drag. And that repair should work pretty well as you come on up with this color. Okay, now there's a light color there, so I'm going to option click here, bring that same light color in right here, and scrubbing back and forth this way. Okay, working from the top and coming down, working from this side and coming down. Just overlap it, and you'll be, I think, pretty happy with the results. Now you can also set your opacity down a little bit, so it's not cloning at 100%. If you make it less, I'm going to put it at maybe 50%. You can see what I've done way up here. Turn it down considerably. I'm going to zoom back in on this part. And as you make your option and click to sample, you're putting it on in half amounts, so you can scrub in the same spot more than once. And it sort of builds up slowly. Option click here. Scrub, scrub, click, drag. And you may find that you have a little more control that way. Come back from the other direction and try to match it in. Doing lots of little clicks here. This is really going to use up your history, so you have to be ready for that. Okay. Option click on this line. Still working at 50% opacity, so if I click 2 or 3 times in the same spot, be careful. If it doesn't match, you have to come back this way. Try to make it match in. Isn't that nice? Pretty nice. Any place that doesn't seem dark enough now, you can build it up. by doing multiple clicks. Okay. Okay, that looks all right. It's a little, there's a kind of a corner on it that I don't like, but I can fix that too. Option, and I'll just smooth this out. Using a less than full opacity, you can paint in the same spot, and you can kind of blend that nicely together. Okay, you will be, you could be smoothing things out with as far as texture, so you just have to be aware of that. Sorry, I'm kind of jumpy here, zoomed in. You can go back to your, you can go back to that patch tool to pick up texture if you feel like you need it. Sometimes when I do that half opacity, it starts to look really almost like paintbrush texture. So I just grab a little piece of texture up here and bring it down on top of there, and it puts texture back in. So it looks more like the original surface of the picture. Yeah, it works a little better. If you got to be careful, sometimes the texture starts to repeat in sort of obvious ways too, so you want to be careful about that. The clone stamp tool or the patch tool can help you there again too, if you just get some texture from a different spot, and you can kind of mess up that any repetition that you might see there. Okay. All right, fingers and the hand are always tricky. Let me zoom in on that. There's some damage here on it. Maybe pick up the clone stamp tool, set it back to 100, and see what I can do here to try to repair this. A little smaller brush, option click. I want to try to cover up some of this. I'm using lots of clicks here. Option, click, option, kind of working both sides of the repair with the clone stamp tool. Okay, and you can see I've kind of repaired that edge of that picture pretty well there. Same way with the blue, just sample off the blue. Lots of clicks. Option, work those repairs. Okay, some of these are probably spot healing brush repairs too. If you're careful with the size of your brush, you might be able to do them like that. Clone stamp tool, option, sample. Work both sides of it. Work it down. Takes lots of clicks. Where you've got all these little mistakes. Okay, once I've got kind of an edge on my finger, let me fix this one too while I'm at it. Smaller brush still, option click. I'll try to fix this. Back from the other direction. Down, up. If you got an edge, sometimes that's an advantage. Center it right over the edge. Click. Make it a little bigger here. Position for the first click is really important. We've got a little edge here. Bring it back down. Some more color here. Bring this down. Okay, let's go up here and reselect and see how close we are to the lips. Load selection. The lips. You can see I still have all this that I do need to try to repair. Okay, deselect that. Once I've got a bit of a repair made on this, then continuing with the clone stamp tool, you can bring this down. Option. Those lines are easy to copy. Option. And you can bring this on down. work both sides of the damage with a soft brush, and it kind of blends together. Okay, you can see a fingertip here. It's really tricky to kind of try to fix it, but you can if you're patient. I'm going to use a small brush. Option click here. When I kind of finish out part of the fingernail here. Okay, I'm going to bring in some more skin here. Using lots of clicks here. Sample on that edge. A little bit bigger brush. Bring it down. Sample. Let me see if I can fix it. It's starting to repeat a little bit on me. Sometimes kind of moving it back and forth in both directions helps. And you can see I kind of got rid of some of that repeating. You can bring this down now. Now I'm kind of edging it towards the right just a little bit. Okay, to do the bottom, there's really not a real quick way to do it, but I'm going to try to kind of get rid of some of my repeats here. You can see where you start to pick up the same texture over and over. Okay, so now I'm going to option click here. Just keep bringing it down. And then when I've got a little bit more of the finger made, I'll go to a little bit bigger brush and a little harder edge brush. Remember that shift right bracket to make the brush a little harder, or you can pick from up here. Make your hardness a little bit harder right there. Option click up here, and you can make a kind of a round edge on the fingertip there. Okay, and then go to a smaller brush. Option. I'm just going to kind of paint up next to this. I'm actually cloning and creating the tip of a finger here. It's not real critical that it has to be perfect, but I'm kind of finishing out a finger here. Okay, and I'm going to duplicate this kind of red looking color here, still using the clone stamp tool. Option, clicking in a shadow right here. Okay. All right, I'm going to reselect. You can see I'm pretty close. I have a kind of a finger that I need to bring on down here, and keep in mind we're going to feather that edge. So if I can just bring down to sort of a straight line from down off this finger, it'll probably suffice. It'll probably look pretty realistic. I'm going to make it bigger, soften it up a little bit, make it bigger. Option click. If you scrub kind of back and forth, you can kind of eliminate some of that repeating. Option. It's repeating pretty badly here. Switch to a less than opaque brush to cover up repeats. Sample from other places on the finger. And build it up slowly. Okay. You can see I'm just kind of methodically doing this, lots of clicking. Okay, I'm basically just building up a color right there that hopefully has a little texture in it. Okay, now I've got one finger going here, and I'm going to turn off my selection. And because I'm going to bring it down even further, because you're going to want some feathering going on this side. So you got to bring it down even further. Now, I've got some shadow here. I'll bring a little more of the shadow down. And maybe turn my opacity back up. because there's not a lot of texture in this. Maybe put a little shadow in under this like this with a small brush. That looks pretty good. Lots of sampling, lots of clicking. All right, now I've got this finger edge here. I can use this edge to make a third finger. So I'm going to do that. Option. Bring it in. Put it right on the line. And Option. And you can see the two different colors there. And I'm just going to bring this down like this. And back up like this. Okay, that looks a little narrow. Let me try that again. Option click. We want to come over a little further, I think. You can see the little crosshair there. You can do the same thing up here where there's a bend in it. And follow the bend. Okay, let's reselect. You can see that's probably plenty. Okay, I've still got a bunch to do over here and all that. Up here on the top of the hand, just try to get rid of some of this. Put the blue in behind. Still using the clone stamp tool. Got a straight line there, that's helpful. Okay, so I'm kind of getting it in there. Reselect. You can see I'm getting close to the place where I can stop. I've repaired all that. I repaired all this. I might need just a little bit more finger right here. I didn't clone that very good. Let me try that again. There we go. It's a little bit better. Maybe here. Okay, turning the selection off and on until you get it just so, and it covers up any problems that you might have. All right, so that's how you can kind of emulate a hand. If you zoom out and you think that doesn't look very good, you can still go in with your opacity turned down and maybe add a little color on top. That'll kind of blend it together. It's a little too much. Turn it down even more. Option click here and put a little right there. It kind of rounds that finger out, makes it look a little bit less square. Option. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, reselect. See, it's Command D, Option Command D. Oh, it's Shift Command D. Shift Command D, you can turn it on. Command D, turn it off. Okay, I'm going to pause here.